Turn us again, O God, and cause thy face to shine, and we shall be saved. Psalm 80, verse 3. One verse with three movements. Asaph packs an entire theology of restoration into a single line. The first movement is the petition itself. Turn us again, O God. Restore us to what we were. Asaph is asking God to reverse direction, to take a people moving away from him and turn them around. Asaph does not pray, turn our enemies, or turn our circumstances. He prays, turn us. He brings the petition back to Israel itself. The scattered flock did not wander into danger. They walked away from the shepherd. Asaph knows this. He does not hide it. He brings it to God and asks God to do what Israel cannot do for itself. Asaph returns to this petition, not because God failed to hear the first request, but because the need runs that deep. Each repetition carries the same weight without diminishing. Asaph is not filling space. He is pressing the same point into God's attention with increasing urgency. The second movement is a request for God's face to shine. This language draws from the Aaronic blessing in Numbers 6, verse 25, where God instructs Moses to tell Aaron to bless Israel with these words: "The Lord make his face shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee." The shining face of God represents his full favor, his undivided attention. When God's face shines, nothing remains concealed. It is the opposite of God hiding his face, which throughout the Psalms signals the silence that follows covenant breaking. Asaph asks God to cause this to happen. He recognizes Israel cannot produce God's favor through effort or religious activity. God must cause his face to shine. Israel brings nothing to the transaction except its need and God's covenant name. The request rests on who God is, not on what Israel has done or promises to do. The third movement is a declaration of certainty, and we shall be saved. Asaph does not pray that Israel might be saved. He declares it as a settled fact. If God turns his people and causes his face to shine, salvation follows without question. The logic is airtight. God's shining face produces salvation the way the sun produces light. The two cannot be separated. This certainty is not presumption. Asaph grounds his declaration in God's own character and his binding promises to Israel. He is not claiming Israel deserves salvation. The outcome belongs to God's nature, not Israel's merit. The verse also reveals something about Israel's salvation. It begins with God turning his people. Restoration does not begin with Israel's decision to return. It begins with God's act of turning them. This sequence appears throughout the prophets. Jeremiah declares in Lamentations 5, verse 21, "Turn thou us unto thee, O Lord, and we shall be turned." Human repentance is the fruit of divine initiative, not its cause. Asaph has already asked God to come and save in verse 2. Now he tells God what salvation requires.